The Lancaster Central School District Board of Education meeting to order. In the unlikely event of an emergency, if we have to evacuate the room, please note the locations of the exits. At this time, I ask that you silence your cell phones and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please remain standing. To the republic for which it stands, nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We are for Anthony Carrell, a physical education teacher from 1954 through 1986, who passed away on October 4th, 2022. And for Sheila Coughlin, a librarian from 1970 through 1999, who passed away on October 11th, 2022. Thank you. That brings us to 4.0 presentations. We have no presentations for this evening. 5.0 correspondence. We have 2 emails on record. 6.0 approval of minutes. 6.1, can I have a motion for the regular session minutes from October 3rd, 2022?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carries. 6.2, can I have a motion on the special session from November 8th, 2022?
So moved. Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 7.0, Lancaster Administrative and Supervisory Association. Anyone from the Lancaster Central Teachers Association?
Good evening. I just wanted to take a moment and let the district know that last month the LCTA raised at least 3-4 carloads of food and toiletries for the Trinity Food Pantry. And we'd also just like to take a moment and wish our students, the staff, and the district a
Thank you, Mr. Abraham. Anyone from the Lancaster Association of Service Personnel?
Kim Glauser, on behalf of the Executive Board. Last members have been working short-staffed, working longer hours to cover for jobs not filled, and working burnt out and tired, doing so without a contract since July 1st. We hope we can settle a contract that respects the work that all of the support staff do because of this district. Settling a contract would also go a long way to improve morale for the workers who are the backbone of this district. And in closing, the Executive Board would like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Glauser. Anyone from the Lancaster Association of Substitute Teachers? Moving on to 8.0 reports. Do any board members have anything to report on?
I'll start. On October 30th, I was happy to attend the New York State Field Band competition where we watched the Marching Legends end their season with a really strong 7th place finish with a score of 89.25. And they're now getting ready to march in Disney World over Christmas break.
Thank you, Mrs. Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. Sage. I just want to congratulate all the athletes in the district on a very successful fall season. Outside, inside, every kid was engaged, they're participating, and the accolades just seem to keep coming. I want to make sure that I don't have any of these, so bear with me. So we had football, boys volleyball, and girls soccer all made the sectional championship. We had men's and women golfers who are going to compete in the sectionals in the spring. We had our cheerleaders won regionals. Our girl team is on their way to states by winning the Section 6 championship. We have boys and girls cross country who are on the states. We have girls swimmers who are on their way to states, and members of the gymnastics teams on their way to states as well. I've been reading in the paper, there's a lot of honors as well. Kids that have been put on all ECIC teams, Western New York teams, and I'm sure that there's more individual honors where kids signing national letters of intent to go on and continue their careers in college. So to kids, parents, community.
Thank you, Mr. Davenport.
I just wanted to add to that. I know I read the last meeting about the football cancer fundraiser that we did last month, that we raised a lot of money at the one football game, but I wanted to mention that all of the athletes really joined together. The team did a fundraiser at their game, swimming, soccer, a lot of gymnastics, all these sports participants. We raised over $9,000 for the American Cancer Society just in the past 2 months from all the fall athletes. So while they were practicing hard and kicking butt on the field and on the court and everywhere else, they also were helping lots of people right here in Western New York fight cancer. So very exciting.
Ms. Fesher? All right. You know, I want to piggyback a little bit on the girls volleyball. Just I had the opportunity to go to that event. I've been kind of shy to go to Section 6 finals for volleyball because unfortunately they've lost every time I go. So I that one, but I did go to the regional event down in Hamburg, and it was the most exciting match I had in my entire career of going to events. Games, it was amazing. The crowd was electrified, and I wish them luck in Falls over the weekend. It will be exciting to watch. All right, on to 9.0, the Superintendent's Administrative Report.
A couple of quick things. We've been talking a lot about getting back to normalcy. And, you know, so since the last board meeting, Halloween has come and gone, but our K through 6 buildings celebrated with parades and parties and games and fun. The experience in school is important for our children and young adults, and I'd like to thank all the faculty and staff and families for doing a fantastic job in creating these memories, and thanks to all involved in that. Speaking of families and parents, our PTOs are going after the pandemic, and they're presently busy the PTO, and I'm so grateful for this group. A great group of moms and dads who volunteer their time to help our district and the children in our district. Everyone should be proud of the work they do for young people, and I certainly am. Student engagement, many of our teachers attended training, excuse me, at KIG in cooperative learning, day 1 through 4 of that training. Continue to learn their learning on the structures, better understood the purpose of engagement, and they enjoyed the training experience from what I heard. All Lancaster Central School teachers, nearly 500 of them, will continue to be trained in at least the 1 through 4 days the next couple of years, and we've been a leader for the last 5 or 6 years in this initiative. In addition to Lancaster, there were teachers from all over Western New York in attendance, and certainly a nice experience. And as far as the employee shortages are everywhere. Tim Hortons, Tops, Bar-Bill, etc. You can't find people at doctor's office, you can't find people in our construction companies, and we're short people here in Lancaster Central School District. So if you know any people who are interested in being teacher subs, bus drivers, or cleaners, I've been last year and a half, but I'll say it again. We're hurting for people, and anyone willing to help us, please send them our way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Valley. On to 10.0, old business. Does anyone have any old business to discuss? On to 11.0, new business. 11.1, personnel items. 11.1.1, can I have a motion? Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone against? Motion carries. Dr. Valley, do we have anybody in attendance today?
Is George Brimmer here? George, great. Sorry, I didn't recognize you. That's okay. George is here. He is, with your approval, going to be the new Family Support Center, director of the Family Support Center. That he will hit the ground running and do an absolutely fantastic job here in that position. So we posted it and looked for the office to do some great things for the Castor community in that regard.
George, I hate to put you on the spot. Would you like to say any words?
I'm just really excited to be working with you guys and looking forward to this opportunity. Hope I can bring everything that I have to the table here and looking forward to working with the community. So I'm really excited. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brimmer. Anyone else in attendance?
Well, the other person, is she here? No, couldn't make it. Anyone here that I forgot or didn't tell me? We would like to recognize you.
From Senator Patrick Allen's office. I went to this time late, I apologize. That's how they put it on my wall.
Thank you so much for.
Concert for 5 minutes, right?
They're doing well, yeah. It hasn't started yet.
Mrs. Howard, thank you so much for coming and representing Senator Gallivan. On to 11.2, education items. 11.2.1, can I have a motion on the Committee on Special Education? Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carries. 11.2.2, can I have a motion on the Committee on Preschool Special Education?
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carries. On to 12.0. Any comments or questions? All those in favor? On to 12.2.6. These are all policy first readings. We will vote on each of these in 2 subsequent readings on third reading. Policy 1640, absentee ballots. Policy 5730, school safety. Policy 5731, idle school buses on school grounds. Policy 5740, qualifications of bus drivers. And Policy 6560, determination of employment status, employee or independent contractor. Those are all, again, for information. We'll vote on those at a later meeting. On to 12.7, can I have a motion on the substitute rates?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.8, can I have a motion on the food service operating reports from September 2022?
So moved. Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.9, can I have a motion on the surplus equipment?
So moved. Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. 12.10, can I have a motion on the surplus library books?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.11, can I have a motion to accept the auction results? Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Anyone against? Motion carries. On to 12.12, can I have a motion on the club creations? Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Anyone against? Motion carries. Point 13, can I have a motion on the contract with Parent Transportation? Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.14, can I have a motion on the contract with Farrar? Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.15, can I have a motion on the contract with Rachel Snyder? Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Anyone against? Motion carries. Just to correct the pronunciation there, it's Schneider, I believe. CH in there. All right, 12.16, can I have a motion on the contract with Wesley? Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.17, I have a motion with Andrew Hafner. Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.18, can I have a motion on the guest artist agreement with Michael Block? Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.19, can I have a motion on the contract with Lancaster Depew Baseball, Legends License? Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.20, Housing Solutions LLC. Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.21, can I have a motion on the AIA contract with Eric Corporation? Any comments or questions? All those against? Point 22, can I have a motion on the construction change orders? Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Against. Motion carries. 12.23, can I have a motion on the Scholastic Achievement Recognition Donation? Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Any question, anyone against? Motion carries. Point 24, indemnification request. Can I have a motion? Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Anyone against? Motion carries. And 12.25, can I have a motion on the amended contract with Carousel Nursery School? Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Anyone against? Motion carries. 13.0 is our public hearing. Welcome all who have come to observe this meeting this evening. This time is set aside for public hearing, a time when we invite members of the community to share ideas and concerns with us. We welcome this opportunity to hear from you in 5 minutes in which to address the board. This is a meeting held in public rather than a public meeting, which means we will not be engaging in dialogue with members of the community this evening, but rest assured we are listening carefully and we take seriously what you have to say. I would ask that you demonstrate respect for us and one another by speaking to the issues, giving us ideas, and sharing your opinions, but not engaging any personal attack. Additionally, please know, as a public school district, we are bound by various laws, regulations, and policies regarding the privacy of students and staff, including the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Moreover, board policy prohibits public comment on any topic directly or indirectly related to employee information. They may discuss about a particular student. Accordingly, please do not comment on the performance of or conduct of individual staff members and/or specific student-related matters. This policy will be strictly enforced, and anyone violating the policy will be barred from addressing the board in the future. Thank you for your cooperation. All right, Laura Sproul, I believe. Sproul, my apologies. Yeah, you can just state your name again, address.
Red button. All right, perfect. Sorry about that. My name is Laura Sproul again, and I live at 89 Center Drive in Depew. I have 4 wonderful kids in this district, and our kids are super involved. They do sports, they do clubs, they're in musicals. We love this district. That's why we moved here. My daughter came home with a library book the other day that concerned me. It's called The Beetle and the Hollybones by Eliza Lane. And what looked like an innocent Hollywood book, just about Halloween, be about 2 lesbian middle school characters who talk about a lot of very complex for our kids. And it ends, it's a graphic novel, so it's pictures. And in the end, it has a scene of them making out, which is also graphic and shown in pictures. As a mom, she read this book at school without my permission or my consent. I didn't know that she had access to such material. So I thought, the next cycle, she comes home with another book. This is called And the Dressmaker. This is a book about drag queens. It's a book about a young prince who he is really a drag queen, and it is also very pictorial. Him being transitioning from a male to a female in all sorts of dresses, and then it ends. And I have these books if anyone would like to see them, and the pages specific. Confusing, and she was very confused. As a mom, and my mama's heart, I'm glad that she felt comfortable coming to me and saying, "Mom, this book made me feel weird. This book made me feel uncomfortable, and I don't understand." And I said, "You know, honey, that's okay." But she wouldn't talk anymore about that, and she ran up to her room. And, you know, I don't care if they're gay. I just think that talks of human sexuality does not belong on the elementary level, especially when we're talking about kids who are in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. We're not talking about high schools here. We are talking about elementary age children. And I think there's an appropriate age for these topics to be introduced. So I did a little search on Destiny Discover just to see, well, maybe just books. There are more books than I ever imagined. My lovely assistant here is going to pass out some handouts. The first is things from William Street Books. I did not spend a lot of time on this.
Sir, you could just give me the card.
Okay, sorry, thank you so much. The first is books can access anytime, and the second is for Lancaster Middle School because I have a student in both. I have kids at the elementary, middle, and at William Street. And this shocked me because I just feel like topics that as parents we should get the first hack at home first. I should have a one-on-one conversation with my daughters and my sons, I have 2 of each, on the couch at home in a safe setting before they are exposed at school, in a school setting where they don't feel safe reading such novels. And I just feel like I don't care about people's sexuality, but I do care how it's introduced to my kids, and I want to be the one to introduce it first before they read a book at school. She read this book at school before she even came home. I did not know. And so I didn't get a chance to say, "Honey, I don't think you're ready for this yet." We haven't had the talk yet, because I think that's our job as parents. Not all kids are ready at the same time. This is not a one-size-fits-all for students. Not all students are ready for gay, lesbian, transgender, drag queen themes as 4th graders. We have openly on our shelves for anyone to read. We're saying is, I'm ready to listen. And I think that's our job as parents, and I think it's negligent on Lancaster's part to have these books mixed in with everything else. That's kind of falling wheel and saying, okay, what's right for your kid may not be right for mine yet. I kind of looking at it as like, when kids are ready to walk, they'll walk. When kids are ready to talk, they'll talk. He's not ready to potty train yet. I had one kid, this is just like potty training. When my 18-month-old was ready, he was ready. My other kids, it took them till they were 4. That's okay. It's different for every kid. When they're ready, they get it, and that's when we teach kids the content. So it's interesting to me that my daughters at William Street have with a form that I sign off on for them to take health, and that's great. And I question that course is very tame and mild compared to some of the books they have free, easy access to at the library every day that they're reading without our knowledge and without our consent, and that is my. So here's just a few takeaways that I hope you'll consider is, 1, you do Google Forms for other things. Maybe we need a Google form to go out to all the parents and people of Lancaster saying, how do you feel about these? Is asking 5 to 10 questions and say, ask parents so we know what the general pulse is of this district and how people feel. I'd love to be part of that. If anyone would work with me, I can give you my cell phone, but I would love to be. To my understanding, it's one person, the librarian, who makes a selection of books for all the students at a school. I think we need a more diverse group. I think one person has using thousands of books that influence thousands of kids over the course of many years. A committee who looked at these books and talked about them together, and they get approved before they're put on a shelf. You know, you have parents, you have teachers, administrators, and, you know, let's throw some kids in there. Let's hear their voices. What kinds of books do they like, and what do they want to read? And my third point, I believe since you have a consent form for the sex ed course, how about a consent form or a restricted section for books in the library where we sign off when we feel ready and if we feel ready for our kids to read such books, and we can simply sign off on them. You know, we can put of everything together for our students, and as parents I feel like we have our choice, and I would like that back. I feel like our kids are young and they're vulnerable, and things in our time, I'd like that back. So I thank you for your time, and I would like to give a cell phone number. I would love to work with. I don't want this, okay, I hope that we can have some further dialogue on this, and that I know a lot of you are parents, you've had, and you know it too. Our kids learn and do things but they do it at their own pace, and we have our kids do things at their own pace. So I thank you for your time, and I hope we can have some further dialogue. You've discussed it, and happy to give out my cell phone number. I'm happy to work with any of you on a Google form to get the sense of what the community's pulse is, and thank you again.
Okay, Laura Sproul. Second, we have Tom Sproul. Did you want to speak as well?
No, she just.
The assistant. He's the assistant.
All right. 14.0, we're going to go into executive session to discuss LASP negotiations. Ends the meeting for this evening, the public portion of it. But before we vote on that, the next meeting is going to be December 12th, 2022. That'll be a regular session, 7 p.m. right here in the Central Avenue School Building. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Anyone against? Motion carries. All right. Thank you all for this evening.